So, we're gonna go into a lot of detail. Yes, I do use a piano as a controller. Yes. I'm gonna go into a lot of detail with every single small thing, with every single boss, every single thing I know, to try and keep it as straightforward as possible. I will eventually make a proper, like, edited and well done guide of this no leveling run. But this is just for now. Let's play in a long guy. Shut up. Ellie, I have one run. I just have DS3 SL1. That's all I have. That's all I got. Okay. We're gonna go in. Actually, fuck it. We're gonna play without we're gonna play without no death until I've been hit. Because why not? Okay. So, first things first. This is for everyone that does not know about this. You can speed up your train a little bit by at first punching your armor steel and fast equipping your... Oh, that failed. By always tapping block and pressing your light attack again, you can stack the, chain these back to back to make it a little bit faster. Let me lower the volume a little bit real quick, just to get through these parts faster. You can do that. Because you cannot sprint through this section, and this does make things a little faster. I always go with the Way of the Bastard, because the weapon we're going to be primarily using is the good old glaive, and the glaive has way more technique scaling. No, Ellie wants to see the cutscene. I do pick up the sawtooth wheel because I use quite a few sawtooths throughout the run in different locations. I do overall grab more than I need. As for this start of the Crescendo Station, what I do here is not needed. You don't have to kill all of these. I do it because I like to be at 3 Fable slots when I reach the Parade Master. And if you don't know, your Fable charges fast if you do charge attacks. This even counts for this one, but this only specifically with the rapier only really counts on the final hit of that 3-hit combo. Only go to the first combo as well. We got OPS plus today. Nice. I hope you enjoyed. I do pick up this thermite for a very specific reason later on. Because there's one section in this run that is very difficult for alternative controllers and also just for a lot of people in general. And that is the rafters in the cathedral. And I, to make the rafters a little bit easier, I pick up all the thermite we can get early on. Safely, that is. And we only need 2, but we also need 2 for Andreas. And there's a total of 4 before it, so we cannot waste a single one. So we need to make sure that we do not waste a single one of them. Again, there's a very high likelihood that I'm going to get hit a lot because I'm actually very rusty on this run because I haven't done it in a little while. What is drafted? Played only in German. You know the cathedral where you have the wooden beams all across, where you have to walk across these tiny thin wooden beams on your way to Andreas. At this point, I usually unequip all my all this because I need to be light as possible. For this guy right here, wait, someone didn't lines because there's a peak in that German message. Hi, Catherine. For this warden, what we want to try and do is we want to get in 3 charged Legion arm punches before we go for a charged attack with our rapier. We can always do one charged Legion Arm Punch for free by walking about 2 tiles in front of this blood spatter that you see a bit above my head. And then charging it up. The second one, I usually see what he does and dodge to the side. If you can get the second one in fast enough, he will do a mini stagger, and you can immediately add on the third punch, and then do the charge attack of the rapier. If you don't get in the second one fast enough and he doesn't stagger, you have to carefully go for the third one after waiting for another attack. Or if the opening is big enough, you can go for it as well, because on the third one, at the latest, he will always mini stagger, and you can always cut through your charged rapier attack. Right here, we do one, and I just missed because I'm bad. I just missed another one because I'm terrible. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There's the mini stagger. Yeah, this was terrible because I was a little bit too short. I was like 1 pixel too short, honestly. I was like a tiny amount too short. The other reason why I kill all of these guys is because now I do have some extra Fable, because the first merchant you encounter, he can only buy up to 3 Fable from him. He doesn't care how many, like, he doesn't care how many you have, and how many, no, he cares about how many you have. So if you already have 3, he doesn't even sell you 1. And you have 0, he sells you 3. So best case scenario, you want to have already some, so you don't have to buy extra ones. But it's not super important. For this part, I always have my stamina pretty high here. We pick this up, and now we hug this wall. Going to the left, do 1, 2, and an uncharged heavy attack. 2 lights and an uncharged heavy. Because with the uncharged heavy, you always do a little jump back away from the guys. You can run face first into the dog with a running attack, but it is a bit inconsistent. Like sometimes you can get hit there. So that's why I prefer the wall hugged method. And here we get another thermite. It's important to not walk just straight post this guy, because he will sometimes hit you. I try to refresh my stamina before I reach the bottom of those stairs up, because then I can run all the way to this one, pick this on up, keep running. And if I talk to this merchant, it actually resets all the aggro for all the people that are behind me. So now I just buy up all the Fable, because I already have 2 Fable Catalysts. I just buy 1. I buy the maximum throwing cells, and I buy all the ballistic bases as well. Keep in mind, this is entirely for Ergo level 10. Now we switch to our good old glaive. I already do some menuing here, because I specifically have these things in my extra decks in these slots because of the way I use the piano. This is not mandatory in any way. You do your menu, like you do your belt layout however you please. I just like having my throwing cell, my pulse cell always in the same spot. Same with my Fable Catalyst. Now when we go in, the Parade Master has essentially 2 main moves that you have to think about. Two main groups of moves that you have to think about. The one-handed moves and the two-handed moves. The one-handed moves, if you Fable parry forwards into them too early, you can accidentally duck under them and just lose your Fable slot, not get hit, but also not parry him. To avoid that, when you see a one-handed move, you can Fable parry to the right instead. When he does the two-handed ones, or the forward jumping Fury one, you can just do forward. And what we are going to do is we're going to do 3 light attacks. Like 3 Fable light attacks. So Fable parry plus light attack every single time. And on the third one, we do an uncharged heavy attack. just tapping R2, basically. For me, it's a different button, but basically tapping R2. And then on the next one, we do a Fable Heavy, which will put him into a stagger. We do an uncharged heavy. We riposte, and we do 2 charged heavy attacks. Sometimes, because this game works with damage ranges, he will survive that. But you can just dodge to the side when he smashes his cage down and just do another charge attack and you'll be fine. Or even just line attack. Alright. Let's see if I don't fuck up literally what I just explained. Let's hope I won't. Hey, Joe. Hello, hello. First of all, of course, abrasive. Uncharged heavy. There we go. And now we do our 2 heavy attacks. It should kill him. It didn't this time. And we can just do one light attack and you kill him. This was a damage range situation, which can happen, but you can just dodge to the side, give it a light attack, you'll be fine. You don't have to pick up this Fable Catalyst, I like picking it up. Also, important to note, if you don't have the Glaive equipped, you do run a little bit faster. Because you're all lighter. Just a small thing to keep in mind. To often unequip it when you don't really need it. This is the first of many moonstones that we're going to collect, because we are actually not going to be just using the glaive. I do equip my rapier here, which I actually accidentally unequipped, I just realized. Because when you talk to the door, when you do the lying thing, you are in an animation that you cannot move out of, and while that menuing makes sense just for speed sakes. It's so fascinating how fast you can kill the boss in this game. Took me a lot longer. Yeah, you can kill them pretty fast. If you go in a complete hyper mode build, then you can kill them pretty fast. There's some bosses that still take a long time. Like, for example, Black Rabbit Brother 2 takes quite some time. It is a patience battle, but it is very consistent. If you follow a set approach, it is actually pretty consistent. Now we get our watch from her, which I immediately equip. Now, because I was at 3 Fable, BSB2 is so hard. I actually really enjoy fighting them, because I think that if you follow a specific pattern, they are not as terrifying as you think. So yeah, because I was at 3 Fable when I went to Parade Master, I always end up on this Fable specifically, because of the charge attacks I do after using up my Fable slot, because I do 2 charge attacks. So when we reach Donkey, we will be back to full Fable. From the enemies we will attack. So I don't need to be worried about like going out into the training area to refill my Fable. But this is only specifically because I killed the other ones. Just because I killed the extra ones, which sure takes longer. It's just a preference to get more Fable Catalysts in. By chance, sometimes. Now, for Elysian Boulevard, most of the things you can actually just completely sprint through. Like, this is a funny thing about the running sections in this game. The enemies are actually extremely stupid. They are very bad with their tracking. Usually, not all of them are. There's one enemy that we're gonna kill here in a second. Like, with this guy, we can just spin past, no matter what move he does. I always wait for full stamina here, and now we have to kill this dog. Sometimes he can do a jump back, which can get you hit, but it doesn't usually help. It's very rare. But after killing him, we can sprint. We can just sprint on. Nothing will hit us. You can just keep going. I'll wait on the middle of the seal here for this guy to take a few steps out, because he does have 2 moves, and one of them can hit you very fast. Which is this one, which you just have to walk a bit more to the side around it. For most enemies in this game, a good strat is to just run face first at them and dodge last second. Just like this guy. You can always sprint past them. As long as you keep your pace, it's fine. Right here, it's important that you never stop sprinting, because otherwise, actually, they can catch up to you. And don't jump here. A lot of people do the mistake of jumping here. Don't jump, because it will make you recover slower, and it can get you hit. I recover my stamina here to get this guy, because you can run past him. It is possible. I just prefer to kill him because it feels more consistent. This guy, same deal as the guys before the Parade Master. If you talk to the merchant, he will completely de-aggro. We sell all our ergo chunks that we have. We can sell all our parts we have as well. And specifically I buy 1 attribute resistance upheal, just 1. I buy 3 blitz abrasives. I actually buy 1 Legion magazine here for a very specific reason in the swamp later. I buy all 3 of these. We buy 1 blitz canister for White Lady later, and we also buy the electric coil stick. Now we do actually like the Stargazer because we're gonna pocket watch back to it in just a second. We can ignore these guys entirely. We do have to kill this butterfly because we do need the moonstone. Now, what I like to do here is very specific. So I like to like slow walk like this until I reach the tip of this puddle, because then I can sprint past him without any risk of him following me too far. Now here, you can sprint past this guy on the left. You can always sprint past him on the left when he opens the door. You cannot get hit there if you keep sprinting. And we just activate the elevator and we use the Stargazer, the watch to go back to the Stargazer to reset the aggro of the enemies, because otherwise, when you open the door towards Donkey, the dog can follow you and hit you. You can also kill the dog. I prefer to do it this way because we are going to return to the spot later on. Okay, now I'm going to equip my stuff for later. Equip the glaive again, because we will need it. Now, the Donkey script is a mess, because Donkey is a piece of shit. So this script will probably not work. It usually doesn't, because I'm extremely unlucky with this fucking script. So what you do is, at the start of the fight, Donkey is actually gonna stand still while you can run for a short moment. And you can sprint behind him, get a backstab. You do a charged R2, you pull him in with a puppet string, do an uncharged R2, pull him in with a puppet string. You can do an uncharged R2 here. Most people do that. I usually do an uncharged R1, because then I still have stamina to puppet string him again and immediately do my Fable Art. This, however, leaves it more open to him rolling away. It is a small risk. So do with that what you will. I prefer to do with the uncharged R1. You can also do with the uncharged R2. It really depends. Hey TQ, hello, hello. Of course, you also use a electric abrasive. You can use the electric abrasive. Like when you enter the middle of this seal, that's when the fight is going to start. So you want to do this, can do this before this. I skip through the dialogue, and we sprint behind him as fast as we can. Get a backstab. Charged heavy attack. Yeah, I missed like everything there, unfortunately. For Cha-Cha 2 here. It's not even remotely enough damage, so... But we we fixed it. Now we switch back to PvP. Yeah, this, how's it going? It's going good. It's going good. Doing an in-depth explanation of my LizaP run for a few people that were interested. Specifically 2 people. Usually I use a Fable Catalyst here to have 1 Fable slot. I use up all my healing. Oh yeah, we're never gonna use heals really. I don't even pick up the pulse cell because it's just annoying to pick up. This guy we do kill. And now there's a funny thing here coming up. Oh yeah, right, again. I do use a Fable Catalyst here if the script goes normal because I will not have a full slot and I need a full slot for Watchmen. You can open the chest here and you just watch if they chase you too close. What you can do is you can just sprint to the boss door and they will de-aggro. They will completely de-aggro and back up again. So if you didn't have time to pick up the amulet, you can just do this. We pick it back up. We equip it, and now for Watchmen, there's a lot of things to consider. So you don't want to do any charged heavies or Fable heavies in phase 1 because the goal is to avoid phase 2 as much as you can. So what you want to do is you want to Fable heavy when his health bar is only barely past his name. This only applies, of course, if you use the English version, because I don't know how long the name is in German, for example, or any other language. So I don't know which lead to use there. I'm sorry. I only know for the English version. And there's one other thing that you have to consider, is that he will not go into phase 2 mid-combo unless you give him a soft stagger out of it. So a soft stagger occurs every, I believe it was 7 hits. I think it was every 7 attacks. Although my secondary R1s are usually double attacks, but whatever. I'll change language and do my run. Okay, gotcha, nice. Like, he has, in phase 1, he has primarily a few moves. He has his right-handed forward punch. He has his right-handed swipes. He has his left-handed delayed punch. And he has the spinning moves, like where he flails us up. And then he also has his backhand. I have the rule of thumb that I dodge everything from his right hand. Because if you dodge everything from his right hand, you will avoid getting into the longer chains of his swiping movements, because his swiping movements, if you parry them, he does more than if you don't parry them. So it takes more risk to get one attack in. And also, you stack up too much stagger on him, which will lead to him losing that stagger again when you want to trigger it to get him to phase 2. Which is why I always dodge everything he does with his right hand in phase 1 and in phase 2. When we go into phase 2, or when we're about to go into phase 2, which we always do with a Fable Heavy, we can immediately change. So it's important to reduce risk as much as possible, yes. Because, like, parries in this game have an under 10 frame window. I believe it's 8 or 6 or something like that. And this is a 60 FPS game, so we are relying on less than 1/6 of a second. And we rely on hitting that window about, I believe it's about 200 times throughout this run. Which is a lot. And requires a lot of patience. And a lot of practice. So we want to minimize the amount of parries we have to do, just to make things feel a little bit safer. There are a few things you can, or a lot of luck, yeah, I guess so. There are a few things with phase 1 that are very helpful. One is his delayed right, from your perspective, right hand, but it's actually his left arm, you know, forward swing. You can always watch when his foot steps forward, because always footstep parry, always this, always that rhythm, no matter if it's the slow or the fast one, because after the step forward, they have the same speed, both in phase 1 and in phase 2. So you can always just focus on the step forward that he does with his left foot when he does that delayed swing. That is, and in phase 1, when he does any of the, well, basically like any of the mid combo moves, like the triple arm swing thing, like where he does his circle his arms 3 times in total, you can always do Fable Parry and 2 R1s, and on the final one you can do 2 R1s and an uncharged R2. If he starts with that combo, that will always lead to the first mini stagger, from price damage perspective. Talking. If he does like one of the floor swipes and then the spinning arm, then you can do the Fable R1, R1, R2. This one you can always do at the end of a combo. From the moves that I described here, I am not 100% sure on the right-handed forward punch, because I don't know its recovery time that well. That's because I dodge it. But this is just for everything left-handed. Phase 2 has 2 moves that are very scary. One is the explosion. Hey, Abodo. My day's going good. We're doing a bit of an explanation guide on my LP run. The explosion that you see at the start of the phase, that one, if you don't know it's happening, it can really catch you off guard, so you need to be very careful with it. I have a specific input amount that I do on the phase transition, which is after like doing getting the stagger off, I do a charge R2, I do a light attack, I go to the riposte point, I riposte, do a charge R2, do 1 back step, as in like just pressing the roll button without a direction, and then wait for his body to start moving forward, then I charge my next R2. And that's perfectly like an R2 that you hit after he finishes explosion. Thank you, Bodo. I appreciate it. I don't have a drink with me right now. I should get a drink. Yeah, that's everything about the transition in phase 1. In phase 2, there's 2 moves that are very scary, which is the 2 jumps. There is the Fury jump, which you can just forward parry into. You'll be fine. You can forward heavy parry into it if you want to, but always make sure that you have 1 Fable slot remaining, just to make sure that you have the mobility. And then there is the non-Fury one. That one, you can forward Fable light parry only, and afterwards you have to walk to your back and to the left a bit, because that's always a safe spot from the lightning that he summons around him. Heavy parry equals Fable parry? No, so when you fail parry with this weapon, you can either do a light attack or a heavy attack as a follow-up. When I say light parry, I always mean Fable parries. We don't do any regular parries. We only do Fable parries throughout the entire run, unless we don't have the Fable. We only use the Fable parries. We never use the normal parry ever. But yeah, when I say light parry, I mean the Fable parry into light attack. And when I say heavy parry, I mean Fable parry into heavy attack. Yeah. Right, those are those 2 scary moves. Another thing that's very important to know is, because when he does his down smashes in phase 2, he has these little lightning pockets he creates on the floor. You cannot do the normal punish that you do in phase 1 for them. What I always do when he, for example, does the triple one, like the 3 arm swings, I do Fatal Parry light and dodge to the side, and then I keep holding to the side. So I keep strafing to the side, like circling him basically, and keep doing those. And after the final one, after walking a little bit to the right, I can do one charge R2 to get some extra damage in. I believe... No, I'm talking about the third boss. We're talking about Watchmen right now. I believe those are all the informations I have. I think that's everything about him. So, let's see it in action, to the best of my abilities, that is. It's also important that you are fully repaired here. If you are fully repaired and you follow this path, you should not get you should not run out of durability. You should be fine. Usually you should be fine. There's a way, by the way, to skip this cutscene, but I can't do it because I cannot menu because of the piano. This one we always dodge, and I always do like 1 R2 and it. We dodge this, and now he does a forward. This should be a stagger. There we go. We can follow with another uncharge R2. Okay, now we want to do the Fatal Heavy. The moment we can. Follow up with the Cha-Cha 2. Light attack. Riposte. Immediately cue the R2. Step back. Wait for him to walk forward. You have the time for this. You can walk back on the grab and then do a charge or two. There we go. That's it. We didn't see any of the scary moves here. If I eventually do a proper full guide of this run, like an in-depth full guide, I will also explain all the little things about the, I will show like footage of the rougher phase 2 moves. All right, now first things first, we go and talk to Polendina. We buy the quartz. I buy 5 cogwheels here, just a precaution for early on. And now I want to have 430 ergo at least remaining after I buy Fatal Catalyst. So if I buy all of them here, I would only have 250 remaining. So I buy 11, now we'll have 657 remaining. This is specifically because to upgrade my electric coil stick to +2, I require 430 ergo. And I just realized I should not have gone here already. We go up and we use our quartz. And the things we're going to get are the charge attack stagger. The stamina consumption on charge attacks. Specifically, we start on the Fable slots. We get this charge stagger attack. Lower charge attack stamina consumption. And then here we do Fable Arts attack. And we do throwing object possession limit. Hi Rexler, hello! Thank you for the happy Tuesday. I appreciate it. Going well. I'm just explaining my run basically. In depth for people if they're ever curious about this one. It's not really in depth, I guess. I'm not like fully in depth here. I'm kind of avoiding going too hardcore on it. Oh, actually, I realized I forgot to sell my rapier. If we sell a rapier here, we can buy 1 extra Fable Catalyst. Because the rapier sells for 180. Because we don't need the rapier anymore, so we can buy 1 more of these. Because we'll need a lot of Fable Catalysts throughout the run. It's not bad to have an extra one. Now, it is time for Vanini Works. Vanini Works are special. I play them a little bit slower than most. Just because it feels safer to me. This item we don't need to pick up because it's just a story item. It's not interesting to us. Tuesday is a good day, I guess, yeah. Usually I equip my electric coil stick here. I don't do it right now because I already equipped it. This guy, we just puppet string him. And charge an R2 immediately to insta-kill him. This way I usually get my second attribute resistance coil because I like to have 2 here. We just drop down with a R2. This guy, we also puppet string. This guy I puppet string because he sometimes has hit me before. Now it's important to sprint through here. We kill this guy. We sprint all the way to the phone. It's always human. And now this girl can chase us. I always grapple her. I had to be careful there because that guy over there was throwing a thing at me, so I paused attacking her for a second. But once you are rid of her, you can unequip this and just sprint through. It is important that you run towards this guy and start dodging to this, like walking to the side the moment he's about to throw, because otherwise he will hit you if you just run past him in a straight line. Because yeah, he actually has pretty good tracking on his throw wall. But you don't need anything else here. This is just a small ergo fragment. If you care, you can grab it. It's not necessary. There is now a really, really bad trap ahead. There are 2 puppets, and there's a pile of floorboards. You can get stuck in those floorboards. It's very rare, and it's a very specific spot, but it can happen. So be aware to not go through the complete center of them. What I do is I always hug the right side and roll the moment I am past that guy. Pick up the moonstone. Because when you reach the side of that guy, that's usually the timing when the other puppet is about to, is throwing a snowball. And here we have the prime example of why you should run forward towards enemies. Because this guy's tracking is actually terrible. If you run towards him... I waited until I could hear him. I could hear his charge starting, and then I ran to the side. And that's why he just ran straight through, in a straight line away from me. If you go to the side too early, he will track you and hit you and fucking destroy your life. And here I'll have our 3rd thermite. You can equip this mid-air if you're cool. I do take the extra bracelet. Okay, so hey Zen, I am mostly going through this run for 2 reasons. One is because Gloom is working on this one, and she asked me if I could, she asked me for like more old VODs. And also because somebody in Team Hitless wants to do it. It's very important here to refresh at the Stargazer immediately. That's not needed for levels, but it is needed for El10 because we do need this extra quartz that we're about to get. I always pick up this item first and then I do this, because otherwise what can happen is that you cannot select the prompt of the ladder. We do this, use 1 Fable Catalyst. Boys, be careful. Just keep hitting the legs. That was bad. I'm very slow here, actually, which is bad. But it's fine. I was a bit slow here because I wanted to explain how I do this. But for the most part, it is dodge towards the leg that is not stomping. Dodge away when he pulls both up, and you can be between his legs when he does his spin, and just keep charge shooting him. And when he lifts up his arm to smash down, you can also just go between his legs. He is very straightforward, but it is a bit of a rush against time because you do have the poison in the back. But yeah, you still have a pulse cell that you can use if all else failed. So, yeah. How the future by far easiest boss and IMO? Yes. For sure, but trust me, in Hitless, don't underestimate him, because sometimes he will clip you with his foot, and you will have to do the half hour towards him again. So don't ever take him lightly. Now here, we pick up the item in front of this puppet. Wait for this to cross, and immediately when it crosses, we run. There we go. Run 2 forward. Now we listen for it to hit the puppet. There it is. And then we go forward. This should prevent that one guy to hit us. We do stay a little bit away, because then otherwise we cannot squeeze next to this puppet. Now it's important to have at least two favor slots here to make an upcoming little thing a lot easier, which is 3 puppets in a room before the Trinity thing. Right there, we just picked up our last needed Moonstone. So now we can upgrade our electric call stick to +3 when we go back to the hotel. And since we killed a lot of the smaller puppets, we were farming a lot of the resistance ampules. We have 3 of them, so we don't really need more for the rest of the run. But if you needed one more, there's one more at the end of the corridor when you're about to reach the Trinity room. So first, we do our Fable out here to buff our weapon. And now all we do is we do uncharged R2s after puppet stringing them. It will always kill them, no matter the damage roll. And even here, we have even more chances for resistance amulets. There's an extra ergo fragment. Down here, here down the corridor, that down there is the extra ampule. If you need it, I will not need it with this amount that I have right now. I do use some extra ones that you don't necessarily need. It's just because of the imprecision of the piano movement. And now we go back. We have 2 extra quartz to spend, and then we're gonna fight Fuoco. We're going to spend 1 into damage and 1 to stamina, actually, because we're going to need that stamina boost for right after. So, first things first, we will be grabbing the staggerable window enhancement of the P organ with attack damage when discharged. Like right here in the increased staggerable window. We do right here, enhanced weapon attack when discharge, 1. And we go to stamina, ability type, and we go for reduced stamina consumption from dash. Dash meaning when you sprint. So that we can sprint a lot longer. I hated Fuoco in my first run. If the script goes well, you'll see him for like 30 seconds. So, Fuoco is a special one, so you don't have to do him the way I do him. I do it purely out of safety. You don't have to throw a throwing cell at the start. I do it because it makes things more consistent. Just a little bit more consistent. What we want to do at the start is we try to, well, we throw a throwing cell at him. What if I want him to do? Well, then I guess you can go in fists only. We throw 1 throwing cell at him. We buff our weapon with the Fable Art. We use 1 Fable Catalyst, and then we try by moving behind him to get in 3 charged heavy attacks. It is important to be aware what his moves are, because if he does the punch down multiple times, he can actually do a backhanded swing behind him that can hit you while you're still behind him. So you do need to be aware of these things. There is one worst case scenario, one very specific one, and that is if he starts with his Fury charge, and then he also does his spin shortly after, which, if you are not fast enough, will lead to you failing to get the stagger off, because you replenish the poise. It is the worst case scenario, yes. And what I would usually recommend when that happens is to either just use more Fable Catalysts and get the Fable up again, the Fable Art. It will not make it perfect, but it will make things at least a little bit simpler. But it is the best you can do at that point. When we get our 3 Fable heavies in, or 3 heavies in, okay, fully charged heavy attacks, we then, once we have a free moment, we go for the other Fable attack, the little jump that you do by blocking the Fable, pressing the Fable button. And he will have a soft stagger. And we do our 2s until he's fully staggered, like fully charge our 2s until he's fully staggered. Then we do 1 extra 1. We will post, and we keep spamming our 2 until he's dead. If you do this correctly, if you do it fast enough, he will not even get a chance to do his phase 2 AoE. You will not even get a chance. You will kill him before he does. It is important to be confident in your fully charged R2s, though, and in your positioning. Because otherwise you will get into a world of hurt. And you don't need to discharge your pulse cell a second time in the fight. I will discharge it right now. There we go. I have the pulse cell ready. And we go in. Now run forward, and when I reach this little crate here, that's when I throw this. And shortly after I do this, and this. One or two. Okay, we have a sprint here. That is very bad. But we're good. Our timing is fine, see? Look at the damage. He's going to try to do this now. After he finishes his little fire puking, he will actually lose his extra resistance. Like, while he does that, he has a lot of resistance. So, recharging his stamina for just a second before then going for the hits, in case you wouldn't be able to do another hit, just so you get the final hit in when he's now fully vulnerable again, before he does his AoE on the ground, makes sense if it will kill him. If you can tell that it's not going to kill him, run behind the pillar and either kill him with an extra throwing cell or going for close combat R2s behind him again, which is hard to do because of his ranged attacks on phase 2. But it is the best backup you have because you cannot, like, bone out of battles in this game. Oh yeah, now we just unequip the caustic. There's one item we definitely need here, which is right here, this little fire canister. We need it for the white lady later. You dodge a second phase ground fire by standing behind a pillar. Yep, you can. It will not hit you behind the pillars. Because it's actually a ground projectile that moves out from his body. And here we only need 2 items that we're going to pick up. It is very important that when we pick up the thing in front of the breakable wall there in a second, that we immediately step to the left while we are picking it up, because otherwise the spear guy's gonna hit us right here, see? And then we go in, pick up the Dark Moon Covenant, and you sprint through. If you just sprint through, you'll be fine. Don't worry. I was wondering if this boss actually not hit a button. Just phase 2 again? No, it's possible, but it's very, very hard. We don't need anything here. What I prefer to do, you can jump this bridge, but I don't like doing it. I just drop myself down here and pick up this extra resplendent ergo fragment, because also extra ergo. And now we get to a boss that is very easy on piano, and honestly probably more difficult on controller, I would think. So the way that she works, when she is backstabbed, she always does the same move after she's backstabbed, every single time. We have to fight it because we didn't kill the survivor. So that's that. She will always do the fast acid punch after she's backstabbed. She will never do any other move. It's always that move. So, if you are good enough at perfectly sprinting behind her to immediately get a backstab in, which I do by sprinting forward to the right at the moment I hear her punch, I switch from run to the right to the left. And I land right behind her and I can immediately do a backstab. This, of course, only works because I have only 8 directions on my keyboard. Or my piano, whatever. So, I cannot say confidently how you get the hang of it on controller. You will just have to learn it. That's all I can say. You will just have to learn the timing. If you lose this timing, What you can do is you can wait for a Fury Punch, because that one has a lot longer recovery, and you can get a good backstab in, and then she's back in the loop. You can also actually follow up with a immediate running R2 to get a little bit more damage in. I actually like to not do that, because I like to have more breathing room for the next backstab. So what I'll do here is I'll just discharge my pulse cell for the extra damage. I will not buff my weapon yet, and I will stand right here, because if you finish a dialogue, you can actually get an instant backstab when she starts fighting you.
Do you want to go on?
Like this. Now I buff. And now I run forwards to the right. And there we go, I immediately land behind her. It is a very precise timing. Because you see, like, you can see I can only see the orange thing for like a millisecond. There you go. And that's how you kill a zone. It is something you need to get the hang of. It is honestly the only reason for fighting her is because we don't have the salute, right? Yeah, and you will get the salute by killing Survivor. And the Survivor is like 16 trillion times harder than her. So, yeah. The Survivor is so fast in his swings, you don't want to fight him. Trust me, you don't want to fight Survivor. I did find a Hitless script for him, but it only works if you already have all the throwables, so you would have to do them later in the run if you want to do truly all bosses. There's usually a time where I like to equip a costume, if I feel like it. Yeah, he's extremely hard, and I don't recommend fighting him at all. It's just not a good idea. It's an extremely bad idea fighting Survivor. This guy, I always just puppet string and kill. You can sprint past him. I just have been hit by him a few times, so I prefer to puppet string and kill him now. You can always kill him with puppet string, unshot shot 2, and light tech.
No idea what those things are, pal.
Now unequip my weapon. Now grab some cookies. Yep, take care. And this we can just sprint through. We can completely sprint through here until we reach the bridge. When we're about to open the door to the bridge, we just pick up this ergo fragment. We're about to reach the bridge. I actually re-equip my weapon because there's a thing you can do on the bridge that makes the bridge a lot easier. It is a lot slower too, but it is very consistent, and consistency is way more important than speed and hitless. Of course, unless you want to go for hitless speed, then I don't know what to tell you, King. Okay, re-equip my weapon here. We open the door because we want to kill the one carcass that is closest to us. This guy right there, because he's actually going to walk towards us now. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, didn't this time, but we're gonna grab him. And now we back up. And what we do now is, now that all the puppets are dead, these guys are all going to start walking back to their starting positions. This way they will all be in the exact same position. And what you can do when they are, is you can actually sprint right in the middle of them, except for the deer guy. And the deer guy aggroes, you walk around the left, around the block you see on the left side. Now they are all back in their starting positions. They will always go back to these positions when you don't see them like walking anymore and just like twitching and like, you know, tweaking out. And they're back in the starting positions. So now we can sprint through the middle. It looks scary, I know. There we go, wait for him, and we just walk around this, and this is a perfectly consistent way to do this bridge. Now we can actually re-equip this here. I do actually grab this for a thing I do later. Some people don't. I do it for EL10 because I need to grab the cryptic vessel at the bottom of this. So we're gonna go back to Hotel Crap real quick, just to make a specific fight at the top of the rafters a little bit easier, just a tiny bit. It's not gonna change by much, but it makes things a little bit easier, a little bit more consistent, because sometimes I felt I've had that stuff mess up. So we talk to him, get the grinder modification tool. We can talk to him again, and another time to change our grindstone. We can also do that on the Stargazer, but I do it here. And we buy two things from him. We buy this, and we buy a technique crank. Buy the electric grindstone and the technique crank. Refresh our Fable. And now we upgrade our glaive to +1 with a moonstone we got earlier. And we can also make it technique, because this increases the damage by 8 from scaling. This is all the scaling increase we get. It's very little, but who cares? Now we don't actually have anything else we can use here. We don't have any quartz they want to use in any way. So we just do the rafters now. And the rafters I do in a very slow but very consistent way. A lot of this is heavily focused around alternative controller friendliness. So for anyone that's doing this section on EL10 without Hitless, but on an alternative control, or even not even EL10, maybe just normal, maybe take some notes, because it will make your life a lot easier. And very important here, I do not discharge my pulse cell yet. We do not discharge our pulse cell until we reach the very moment that I tell you to, basically. I keep it charged. I use one more resistance here, which you don't have to if you walk the line correctly. I just prefer to do it. We get up here. Now we're going to puppet string this enemy right here and do the same uncharge R2 L1 combo. We go here. And so this guy is Sawtooth. It's important that you are between these two pillars, because if you're too much to the right, you will hit a corner, or you will even hit this pillar. Now on this guy, we throw a thermite. And then we walk so that the cross is on the wood beam, because then you can always just stand there and you're safe. You can just wait for him to throw two things. Usually you will die right after. This is just to make this part a little easier, because otherwise you will have to dodge these things on the fly. And especially if you're using an alternative controller and you don't have that good of a camera movement, that can be very troublesome. Now on this guy, we wait for one of these cogwheels. You know, like we have this big wheel here with the big nubbins outside. We wait for one of them to be like covering the body of that enemy. That's when we throw our thermite. Because we throw it before it can hit the cogwheel sometimes. Right there, that's where we throw it. Boom. And now, what I like to do is I get on this ladder. I focus my camera forward. I walk over here and just press in this direction. Because now I'm perfectly walking a straight line on this one beam, which makes things a little bit simpler. Just for me. Because of alternative controller shenanigans, you know? Now there's going to be an enemy here. Come on. I usually pump string him. Give him the usual 1-2 punch. It's important to step back a bit because otherwise you might fall down. I unequip my weapon here because I'm going to sprint a bit and I like to be a little bit faster. But for now, we actually don't sprint. I just slow walk all the way over here. Wait for the throw. That one you sometimes have to roll. That's something you have to be aware of. Hey, Ego. Hello. We're currently going over my route. Sometimes you have to roll. It depends on the timing when he throws. On these balls, it's very important that when you reach the sides that you stop running. People often run into the corner more, and that actually pushes your hitbox back a little bit, and you can still get hit by these rolling balls. So let me just run here. You stop moving. And now, it's very important to keep sprinting. Stick to the left. I replenish a little bit of stamina here, and then I sprint around her right side here after she punches through the wall, because that she will leave that space open. Now here, you can actually sprint over these little nubs. I will sprint just on towards this, and I'll just walk her over. You don't have to jump it. I used to jump it until I realized that I don't have to. And same goes with this. You can just wait for one to be about to come up, and you could just like walk onto it and just spin. This is a Legion Hour magazine I extra grab that you don't have to grab. I just do it because I'm silly. Now we discharge our pulse cell, and now we equip our crescent glaive again. And now we use our fire grindstone, specifically right here. We're gonna run behind the enemy that's gonna drop down. We're gonna do a charged R2, a Fable Art, and actually forgot. Wait, he's already gonna be staggered. I do a light attack, I riposte him, and sometimes I have to do a charge attack on top. I think that's the order, yes. I just forgot for a second. Okay. So this, we sprint behind him. Oh yeah, wait, another? Yeah, right, we need to do another R2. I forgot that. There you go. You do another R2, and then he staggers, and then you riposte, and then do another R2. Now we do need this. Trying to equip my things here because we're actually not going to attack anything in a second. We're going to grab one more thermite, which is the only other thermite that we're going to need for Andreas, because we'll need two thermite and 4 thoric cells, best case scenario. We should have more, as you can see. I hope you're doing well as well, by the way, Ego. I hope life is treating you with kindness. Okay, so we don't have anything else equipped. We are just going to book it. after refreshing this. It is important to, of course, watch this pressure plate. And from here, you can just sprint through. I refresh my stamina usually like about here. And now there is this throw we have to free roll. You have to reaction roll it. There's no way around it. Now, I sometimes use a resistance ampule here, but you don't really have to because you're not equipped with a weapon and the damage will not hurt you. Here, you run into this corner, wait for his sprint to end, because then you can run all the way through. Stick to the left here, very important, otherwise that first swing is going to hit you. And run all the way through. I like pushing this down. You don't necessarily have to. There's an extra ergo fragment for us here. We open the door. And now we're going to go to El10, but not without resetting this. This is very important because otherwise the deer guy can stand in the corridor and just immediately fucking beat you to death. So you have to reset at the Stargazer once. It's very important. We go back up. The other guy we can just sprint past. He's not a threat whatsoever. The deer guy will not even see us. That's how fast we are going to be. You just go back the way we came. We just sprint through. Like, he is going to scream, you know, see? He's not even going to reach us. We just keep going. And we go up the elevator. Like, this guy doesn't even care. He doesn't even care about us. And now we're going to buy 2 amulets. Fuoko's amulet, which is the Conquering amulet. And the Watchman amulet, which I always forget the name of. Is it Fable Modification or something like that? I always forget. I always forget what it's called. Every single time. Okay, we talk to him. We tell him Hotel Krat. Because we need him to actually be there later. No, not Hotel Krat, but... Right, Extreme Modification amulet. And Conquering amulet. Those 2 we get. And then we go back to the hotel. Because we do have some quartz to spend. And we have 1 quartz to buy as well as 2 Blue Moonstone Covenant Shards. Or Dark Moonstone Covenant Shard, or whatever the hell they call. Because we got the Krat supply box after we killed the big carcass creature at the top of the rafters. At the shop goods, there we go. There we go. We go buy this 1 extra quartz that he now sells, and we buy these 2 Dark Moonstone Covenant, blah, 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 blah. We upgrade our weapon to V+2. If you didn't do it by now, make sure it's techniqued, like technique cranked, because every tiny bit of damage against Andreas counts here. Every tiny bit. So, with our extra quartz now, we're going to get 2 things. One is damage on maximum durability. We're going to go to this amulet slot thing right here. Get enhanced weapon attack, but durability is at maximum. So our first hit in the fight deals a little bit more damage. It is not that necessary on this fight, but it's very necessary on, for example, like Snazga later. We got this. And we also grab increased special grindstone effect duration because we're going to use a special grindstone here. And its lifetime depends, like, it's very important because we need to fight Andreas extremely fast. We also equip our amulets, the Conquering and the Extreme Modification one, and also, of course, our Dragonism Blade. Now, the way Andreas works is we need to get him into a mini stagger that if we follow it up with a heavy attack is going to full stagger him. That is very important. We don't want to skip the mini stagger. The way we do this is by getting in more than 2 Fable parries with heavy follow-ups, preferably at least 1 extra Fable light parry, or 2 or more regular Fable parries without a follow-up. This is very precise, I know, but otherwise what can happen is that you are going to be forced to do a 3rd Fable heavy, which is going to instantly push him into phase 2 without you being able to refresh your Fable slots. Because for phase 2 is extremely fast. What we do in phase 2 immediately is while running forward, we throw 2 thermites, we throw 4 throwing cells, and we need to be very close to him, which is very important because he's going to do stat motion forward. And this is a big change between the DLC release and before the DLC release. Because at the start of his phase 2 now, he actually stays at the back of the arena. He doesn't walk towards you anymore, which is a big issue. And to actually connect that parry, you have to be walking forward a lot, which you always do with a Fable heavy parry, followed up by a Fable art, and then you heavy attack his legs while he stands up for his explosion. To be able to have all that Fable, when we full stagger him in phase 1, what we immediately do is discharge our pulse cell again and consume 2 Fable catalysts. It should only be 2 that you need if you did follow the scheme correctly to only use 2 Fable heavies and use 1 Fable light before. This, of course, heavily depends on what moves he did. There are 3 main starts you can do. The fast tongue, the double tongue, and the stomps. The stomps, you can always do a Fable light, and then right after he's going to do another swipe, and you could do a Fable heavy. You'll be fine if you do it like that. But the stomp's actually very rare. So what I like to do when he starts with the tongues, more likely, is I just dodge backwards and I just see what he does. And again, we try to get in at least 1 Fable light parry and maybe 2 or 3 regular parries without any follow-ups. And then we get a total of 2 Fable heavy parries in to fully stagger him, to light stagger him. Then we do the full stagger right after with a charge heavy, and then we discharge our pulse cell, we get a Fable in, etc., etc. It is very, 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 very fast and requires a lot of practice. A lot of practice. And I probably will fuck it up because I actually haven't fought Andreas in a while, and I'm amazed that we are still hitless on this practice run right now. But hey, what do I do? Okay, first things first, we can discharge here already. We do not use our grindstone already, because at the start of the fight, we have enough time to do it inside of the arena, and also, since the DLC release, if we would be using our grindstone right now and then open the door, and then we go into the fight, our grindstone would actually be gone. Because cutscenes remove special grindstones now, and abrasives, which is very annoying, but it sadly is just how it is. We just have to live with it. Make sure you have these 2 equipped, because otherwise this damage script is not going to work. And let's see if I fail. This is tongue. We dodge backwards, and now we see what he does. He full staggered here, so I don't need to do the other thing. We do everything else. You can do a cha-cha-2 and kill him. Face one over. Remember? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's the stagger after the second one. And that is Andreas. So it's very important that you close that gap to get that Fable in, to get that Fable heavy parry in, because otherwise he will do it too far away from you, and then you are in a world of pain because his phase 2 is actually horrifying. This is exactly how it's supposed to go. Luckily I did do it everything correctly. Which I usually do. How's the early onset carpal tunnel going? It's going great. It's going actually fucking beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Granny. I gotta admit, I don't know if I'm going to split this actually into 2 parts. I might split this into 2 parts. But we'll see.
I haven't a clue myself. There's gotta be someone at the hotel who knows something.
Because I am kind of tempted to split into 2 parts. But for now, we are going to go for Start-Brb1. I was meant to get a root canal today, and I said I want that room since root canal scares me. Oh, well then. Okay, there's about to be a dog here, which it's important to wait until he starts moving a little bit before you actually grab him. Because otherwise you can actually miss him. Watch out for this trap, because running to this trap's actually a hit.
Once, Krat was just a small town on the coast of little importance. Before Elysian,
We can run through almost everything here.
literally was all there was of Krat. But when some in the city prospered, they left the old town behind.
We can run around her as well. Oh my god, my heart. Thank you, whatever that throne was, but I'm just gonna just give me a second. We can grab this guy into the trap, killing him. I unequip this right here, usually. Actually, I'm gonna do it every month. Wait, what did you do? What did you do? I'll check in a moment when I reach the thing. You can run through most of it here. I make sure that I have full stamina when I land here because I want to be able to run a lot from this guy. Oh, Baleba, thank you. The path to the dance pad runs. And refresh my fable, my stamina here early another time. This guy will not catch up to you as long as you keep sprinting. You will be fine. I do a slight stamina refresh here usually. And that's important to run straight, slight to the left of this gate. And we turn to the right and we throw one cogwheel to distract this guy. And wait for him to walk to the side, and then we can, as you can see, just spin around. This. Also, this is why we don't discharge our pulse cell, because now we want to discharge it to make sure we have enough health. Yes, you can live this, but I prefer to just walk it all. Alright, let me have a look at what Granny just gave me. Holy shit, dude. Because I actually wasn't able to see. Let me log in real quick. I forgot how to do this. I forgot how to do this. How can I check how much you donated? How much did you donate? Because I'm too stupid to check it. Help. Help. How much was it? Because I don't know. No. How much was it? Why can't I not check this anymore? You were used to be like able to like write thank yous to your every single contribution. There you go, gifters. 3 minutes ago, Granny Duck. I'm gonna check how much it was. Why can't I check how much it was? What the f... Oh, okay, I found it. $7.24. Thank you so much, Granny. I am gonna get you a sticker for it. What kind of sticker would you like? Please do let me know. Sorry for the little interruption. I have From Software stickers, I have Pokemon stickers, I have cat stickers, whichever you would like. I got some PS4 because it was a monthly game on PS Plus. Thanks to PS Plus, I also got MHA1's Justice and Daisy. I don't know what MHA is, but this game is top tier. This game is fucking great. This game is great. This game is great. Okay. What do we reach here? We go back to the chapel to grab our... Oh, My Hero Academia. Okay, gotcha. We go here to grab the Cryptid Vessel. Because we're gonna grab an extra quartz from it. And we need to talk to the Nini, actually, after we fight Andreas, or the next Trinity phone is not going to trigger. If we don't talk to him, when we reach the phone, it will just be dead silent. And we don't want that to happen because we need every single Trinity key. Well, not every single one, but almost all of them. There's 2 we don't grab. Because they are not needed anymore. Hope you're doing well there, Nicky. Alright, we grab this, and now we go back to the hotel to talk to Vinny. It's actually mad that we are still hitless on this like random like rerun. He gives us the wavelength decoder. This actually triggers the thing. The thing. We do refresh our Fable here, and we also can already equip this here. Now we go back to inside the house on Elysian Boulevard to grab the key, quote unquote, to the apartment. We are going to get the owl apparel and extra quartz. We're not going to use the quartz just yet. We're going to use it when we reach, when we're about to fight BRB1. But getting to this quartz is very simple. We just go down. That's why we have the cogwheels as well, because we are going to use it for it. We just sprint past these guys, you know it's safe. We give this guy, now that we can lock onto this guy, which is the cogwheel. And now we go back to most recent Stargazer. This is the reason why we do open this door, because we do come back for this, and this just makes things a lot easier, more safer. And also faster. Because if we would be using the Krat City Hall Stargazer, it would actually be a lot slower. You can open this door without this guy agreeing. There's like no issue at all. And there we go. This is our extra quartz. I actually don't teleport back here. I walk back and then teleport to Melon District. Because in terms of timing, it's actually faster. Because you have to go through less loading screens. Now here, we stay unequipped with our weapon for now. And we refresh our stamina right at these boxes here. And then we sprint through. We sprint behind her, not in front of her. We keep on going. We have all the stamina in the world. It's all fine. You can just keep going. There's no issue. And then right here we can equip our glaive again. There's one girl down here. She doesn't have a consistent position. So do always be aware of that. Now we... Ooh. I discharge myself here usually. When his body touches the fountain there, that's when you can go in, because otherwise we actually aggro early. We kill him. We grab another quartz. That's why we don't use the other quartz already. Because of this very reason. We stick to the right here and immediately lock onto the dog when he comes out and do a running attack into his ass, which will kill him almost all the time. Not all the time, though. We lock into this guy, and we just puppet string him to R2 and R1, basically. Can do the same with her. You can puppet string her if you want. You don't have to. I usually don't. Now, thanks to us talking to Vanini, this one's active. It's always the candle. There is actually an extra thing you can grab here, but I don't really. Here, we throw one of these cogwheels at this guy. He's actually going to start sprinting at us early. It used to be that he does it later, but now he does it actually earlier. Ever since the AI changed from the DLC. Now you go forward and wait for that one dog to come out. And once he starts sprinting towards us, that's when we can grab him. Do the R2. Same thing with this guy. Staying at a distance here makes things a lot safer. That's why I do it. Now here, there's another dim ergo fragment that you don't necessarily need. And right here we get to a little funny rule about Liza's Fee. When you reach this area, there's going to be a trap underneath you that you cannot avoid. It's impossible to avoid. Right here. It will just spawn underneath you. There's nothing you can do, which is why it actually does not count as a hit. We kill this guy. We unequip our weapon. And I wait for this guy to get aggroed on me. She will in a second. There we go. He's chasing after me now. And now I wait right here for him to come out, and I wait for him to step on this dark spots above my head here. Sometimes he doesn't fully come out, sometimes he's like, wait, there he goes. No, I just wait for him to step on the dark spot. The moment he is on there, is when I can sprint. Because he will not actually hit me. He will be too slow. Well, this guy is not aggro, you can pick up this if you want. Otherwise you can't. If he's already like, not like in his idle animation, but like walking around, then you cannot grab that. We give him a dim ergo fragment, and we sell all our ergo fragments here. including this one. I mean, you can also sell this if you care. It's not really important. What is important is what we buy here. So your ergo can vary when you reach this point. Sometimes because of buying reasons, just because of what drops you got, etc., etc., etc. There are reasons why this can vary a little bit. The rule of thumb is that you should get 12 of these at least. Same with these. These, you can be fine with 10. 12 of these, and you buy 15 of these. And now you look how much you have left over. And I usually try to round up things to 10. With this having the highest priority. There we go. Like, we're not bad, but we don't have that much. And the rest actually usually spent on the cogwheels because I will need a few extra ones, and this guy actually sells them cheaper. And we also got the Legion Caliber here. And we can already go back after we touch this. This Legion Caliber will be very important later on like a few enemies, but not many really. It's very, very, very important on an enemy in the Lorenzini arcade because otherwise that enemy will fuck you up. Alright, my favorite's on your phone. So I'm just gonna immediately do it and get the puppet string trace upgrade with this Legion Caliber. This is literally the only puppet string upgrade we're gonna grab because the only one that really matters. All the other ones don't really matter. Now we use our 2 extra quads we have for some small extra things. Which is stagger duration 1 and consuming possession limit. We now re-equip our Conquering Amulet, our Glaive, and now this is important. We need our shot puts. We need our cluster grenades. You put these in any order you'd like. I don't care which order you use here. I have my personal favorites, and you can do it however you like. It's just important that you have all 5 of these equipped, because you will need all 5. Because when we fight the Black-Rat Brotherhood, with every bit of damage we deal to the eldest, with time the extras are going to spawn. The small one, we're going to try and throw 4 shot puts in her face, which you have to be careful with because after 2, she can often jump backwards and sometimes can jump behind her big brother, which can lead her to her big brother eating the shot put. So don't just mindlessly spam it. That's very important, to not mindlessly spam the shot puts. Because you want all 4 to connect to fully stagger her, and then you spam her with throwing stealths to kill her. It's usually just 1, I believe. I think it's usually just 1 or 2. Then you make sure that you have your thermite ready, and I also usually get my cluster grenades ready, but that's whatever. Because you need to hit all 6 thermite onto the second guy, the eccentric, to kill him. If you take too long, you will not kill him. If you throw while you're too close, he will dodge them. So this is one where you actually have to spam, but you have to make sure that you're at a good distance. Which you can manage by keeping the eldest mostly in the center of the arena, and only triggering the next of the siblings by going for heavy Fable parries. Like that, you can force it. For the Battle-Maniac, who spawns last, you instantly throw cluster grenades at him. All of them. And then throw 3 carcass body fluid bottles. Usually 3 kill him, but just throw until he stops, like, behaving like an enemy. And after that, you just finish off the eldest. For the eldest, there are a few safe approaches. You can go for only the specific final hits. You can also go for the 3-hit combo hits. The main things that I like to suggest is that he does the spin. When he finishes his spin, I like to do a running attack into him after. Just get a bit of damage in. When he does the jump, I do have the Fable. When he does the third one, the Fury one, of his 3-hit combo, I do the Fable. And if he does his backhanded upward swing, he will follow up with an overhead swing. That's always a combo ender, so you can also Fable heavy parry that. Those are the only ones I do, just for safety. It's just for safety. Now let's see how I do it in a fight. While you have the electric abrasive ready, which you will activate after getting to the fight, again, the first heavy Fable parry is going to immediately trigger the youngest. Immediately. So be aware of that. So immediately use this. This one you can also sprint attack. There she is. Then we made sure that we hit it all on her. Sprint attack again. No, he is the eccentric. He will always soft stagger after the second one. So you can spam the rest of them through if you're far enough away. See, we just go for everything there until he's gone. Oh, he's actually dying to the... Yeah, he dies to the caucus here. There you go. Dude, this is just like a showcase run. Why am I still hitless? I am still hitless. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Okay, after BOD1, you grab this quartz because it's free and it's funny and it's cute. Because you're going with the saws. Not debatable. The thing is, I think I'm actually gonna leave it here, and I'm going to continue this this run showcase tomorrow. I will glue the 2 runs together and put them on YouTube. I will not edit them at all. They will be completely unedited. I will do an edited proper guide at some point in the future, not just yet. So we will leave off right here. And right here, I'm going to continue tomorrow with the path to White Lady and preparation for White Lady. Match Found Puppet, Romeo, Victor. We're going to do the rest of the run. The thing is just, I had no sleep for the past 28 hours, so... yeah, I'm kind of sleep deprived. And yes, I know, like, look, I am still hitless. Ha 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 ha. Just, yeah, whatever. Not gonna get it on this run anyways, so I don't really have to worry about it, but yeah. We'll continue the rest tomorrow. I'm going to stop the recording now.